What's up, you? I'm here. I'm gonna show you some of my stuff, right? This is I picked this one as first because I'll explain later, okay? But this is the pick of the week. John Lennon, the Life. It was written by Philip Norman, a rock journalist. And of course, it's like, first of all, it's like 853 pages. It's kind of long book. And it tells the life of this guy. And it starts not with his life, but with his grandfather's life. His grandfather was also an entertainer. So the arts, they were in the DNA of Mr. Lennnon. And then when he was young, kind of child going to teenage years, he was a kind of typical young boy, you know. He used to make jokes with people with disabilities, you know, like mocking them, because for him it was something weird, strange. Because normally teenagers they don't do they are very harsh with these jokes and all these things, you know, playing a little bit of violence or a lot of violence in some cases, mostly in the boys raising. We have a lot of violence involved in it. So Lennon couldn't escape for that. But he was, since his early years, you know, he was very sarcastic, ironic, you know. In England, they had a kind of, I couldn't say it's, they have a kind of event, I could say like that. That the boys, I can tell this because I listened in another place about the band Status Quo, you know. It's like boys, they jerk off together, you know, in the same place. And there's a quite funny scene with Lennon make jokes in the middle of this event, as we can say. That's quite funny, but you should read. I will not tell you what was it. And then, you know, as he became, of course, in the book tells the story about Lennon's mother, Julia, the way she died. You know, she died in a car accident, and this is a point of connection between him and Paul McCartney, because Paul McCartney also lost his mother, but he lost her for breast cancer. So they felt immediately connected because they were motherless child. It's great, but because in this book you can see the evolution or the revolution they like. You can see the evolution of the individual, you know. It's a kind of teddy boyish thing, like a little bit tough, and sometimes, you know, turn into a more open-minded person, you know. For sure, the drugs are important in this changing. There's, I can tell this story because everyone knows, you know, this story about Bob Dylan had presented then marijuana for the first time when they were a little bit like early 20s, stuff like that. They used to have drugs before, but it was more pills and uppers, because they play Hamburg. Sometimes they play the whole night, you know, so they need to stay awake, you know, and coffee was not just working too much, you know. And this is like shows the evolution of the band, the breakup of the band, you know, the visions of and the ideas Lennon had to music, you know, because if you see as a musician in the point as a musician. Lennnon was not talking about playability. He was not the biggest guitar player in the world, and all these things. But he had a lot of ideas to music, so that's the most important in my point of view. And people used to take Beatles as the standard of Western culture, not just music, but we never see the effort they did to reach that level. And it's great because in the book you can there's a part when they talk about when it says about the song "I Want You, She's So Heavy." It's a song from the record Abbey Road, and I have it here. One day I'm gonna show you too. Uh, and this song is one of my faves for sure. It's Heath orientated. I love it. You know, kind of atmosphere and all these things. But this song they recorded 33 versions of it, and George Martin, of course, the producer, um, cut the best parts of each version and made the version we listen to the record. We listen in the record. Um, so it shows that to reach the level the Beatles reach, uh, it's necessary work. You know, of course, inspiration is important too, but work is essential, right? And I totally agree with that. It tells also the story about Stuart Sutcliffe, the first bass player for the Beatles. In the beginning, they had three guitars, no, John, Paul, and George, and Stuart Sutcliffe was the bass player. He he actually didn't really play, you know, but he had the looks and all these things, you know. And there's a story about an altercation between Leno and Stu, and some people say that this altercation led Stu to death, you know. And we cannot say that it's true or not. But interesting thing is because when Lennon got the news about Stu's death, he started to laugh about it, you know. So probably because he couldn't believe. He was so nervous in the situation that he couldn't react another way, you know. And that's a great, as you can see, a great book. You know, I read it 4 or 5 times. It's always fun, you know. And this is the guy. Check him.